and then all those data went into S3 bucket. So if you look at this, so what we did, we created runtime, right? You can see over here, the runtime is there, right? And these are the different versions that we deployed, like around 13 versions we deployed, and this helps you, roll back to the previous working version. Like you can delete it, you can roll it back. There are gateways that we have decided, and in each gateway we have added different tools. Like let's say this one tool that we added, insurance tools, and here it has, let's say, get policy lambda. So this is lambda, right? Because once you have the gateway, you need tools. Tools are could be lambdas, different APIs, API gateway. There is a check claim lambda that is there. There is a calculate premium lambda is there, and these lambda is returning back these information to this insurer over here, like what they need in terms of policy or claims, etc. Correct. Then there is a memory, that this is the short term, long term memory that we are trying to communicate. Agents are storing like semantic data, it's summarizing, it's storing, it's using user preferences, and all these data is getting stored for every single users, and they are calling it actor, and also the admin data that is getting stored. Similarly, we have created policies like insurance policies that it's gonna have like allow insurance tools and forbid customer cross access. This makes sure that customer cannot let's say upload a document, or customer cannot get data for other customer, right? So they have, let's say I have added 2 customers in here, there could be 10,000 customers, because the things will be handled by Bedrock Core. I don't have to do anything inside the servers and all. And also we created knowledge base. A knowledge base is here, and this knowledge base is connected with the gateway to the AgentCore runtime, and this knowledge base contains the policy documents, FAQs. Let's say a customer has its own policy document that they can upload from the customer portal, and similar way there will be admin portals, that from the admin portal admins can upload their data, right? And then it combines together everything, like we are using a Strands framework over here, like, and all the Strands framework data, framework code, and the complete AWS Bedrock core, all the services connected together properly, right? And we have achieved this whole thing that we discussed in the starting of the video, right? So we are going to build enterprise insurance agent with AWS Bedrock AgentCore. For example, there will be a user that will be using mobile app or web app that will be connected with API gateway, and API gateway will be connected with Lambda, and then the Bedrock Core platform will be coming into picture. So we have AWS AgentCore Bedrock identity, right? That is responsible for authentication, authorization, user context. Then comes AgentCore policies, that is responsible for prompt policies, tool permissions, PII protection. PII protection means if, let's say, you add a customer name that goes to the details, as I say you add a green card number or Aadhaar card number into the request, that will be masked, right? Then there is an action restriction inside the AgentCore policy that will be given. There will be AgentCore Runtime that runs the Strands agent. Strands is basically a framework given by AWS where you can build multiple agents and orchestrate it. There are gateways. Gateways is basically MCP, right? Which we'll be able to connect different tools. Like let's say we'll have policy tool, we'll have claims tool. If someone does a claim about their insurance policy, then these tools will be called through the gateway. So gateway is kind of a middleman connecting all different tools with the AgentCore runtime, right? Then there will be building tool, and all these tools will be written in Lambda. Let's say we can use different set of Python code or JavaScript or TypeScript code inside Lambda, but they will work as a tool. They will be connected with, let's say, S3 bucket or DynamoDB or any database that you use. But the end goal is to build a gateway that will connect with the Lambda, and that will help AgentCore runtime, correct? And there will be knowledge base, so where we can upload the insurance document, we can upload the policy PDFs, coverage guides, and FAQs, claim docs, etc. There is AgentCore memory that is inbuilt inside AgentCore runtime. So once we use AgentCore memory inside our infrastructure, then whenever we do the conversation, the long term and the short term memory will be saved inside it, so that user context will be maintained. So long term memory is basically for longer time the conversation that happened between the user or customer and the agent will be maintained, so that whenever user comes back, he start asking the conversation, then the agent will reply from the long term memory. Short term memory is basically a very short term context for, let's say, one user session context, and whatever has been conversed in that context will be managed. There is agent core observability where we have to see what agents are performing, where there is error, how agents are flowing. So all these things we're gonna cover. But before that, I want to let you know some basics of these different tools so that you can follow my complete tutorial end to end. Right. The one is the Strand framework. Why do we use Strand framework? So if we look at without the Strand, we have to build everything by ourselves, like agent orchestration, defining the different agents, putting their prompts, connecting their prompts. All of this we have to do by ourselves. But we will use if the Strands framework given by AWS. Then it will create the agent with simple Python APIs, not hundreds of lines of glue code that we would write if we want to Strands. So this is really important to use Strands framework, or like let's say you can use Crew AI or you can use LangGraph. That is the main reason why AgentCore runtime is given. So these are the different things. Like let's say there's no built-in agent of abstraction, so you write the planning, tool calling, reasoning loops from scratch. So let's say you build for a 4 5 tool, claims tool, insurance tools, right? Then you have to connect those tools with the code directly by yourself. You have to write the code by yourself to connect these tools, that and your agent will call this tool. If you use Strands, then they have inbuilt API. So you just have to define what kind of tools you have to use, and they will start calling the tools. Correct. Memory will make it simple, like long-term memory, short-term memory, context, etc. Right. Summarization, because Strands framework code is designed to make all the APIs that AgentCore exposes available to you. Right. So you can easily connect with AgentCore and all other different services that it offers, like runtime, or it's about gateway, it's about policy, it's about identity, it's about its knowledge base. All those services you can easily connect with this Strands API that they have given. So you just have to, let's say, write call agent, pull agent, so there will be straightforward API available with this Strand. I think this is the future with enterprise level AI agent that you want to build. There is a production ready design that's available. There's a faster development, and you just do one command like agent code deploy, for example, and it will deploy the complete agent that you have built to the runtime, to the gateway, and to the to memory, to everywhere, like all the policies and identity everywhere it will be deployed. So that Strands plus AgentCore. This is why we need Strands as a framework to connect with AgentCore services and build application as at a scale. Scale I meant is, let's say you are getting 10,000 customer every day, or let's say 1,000 customer concurrent every second you are getting. For these kind of enterprise application, you need these two tools. So now the major problem is most of the developers don't understand what exactly happening with AgentCore. So I try to cover it very short term. So here what happens is you do the coding, let's say in Strands, right? That sits in your local terminal, let's say, connect with AgentCore. Let's say you do profiling, you configure your profile, SSO configure profile, and then you connect your terminal to the AWS account. Once you configure it, then you can run your AgentCore locally. What exactly happens is Strands run as, let's say, kind of an express server, and once it runs, you once you invoke locally to the agent with the AgentCore, then it hits to AWS directly and takes the Claude. Let's say, for example, you use Claude as an LLM, so it directly hits Claude in on the live server. Still, you are on local, but still it's work as an agent and it will help you orchestrate complete thing. So let's say once you deploy it, right, then the deployed resources also can be connected to your local. So it becomes very healthy test environment. So before deploying, you can test it. So the once you build it, then we have to package in one of the format. If you have to deploy it, like scale at a scale, let's say 10,000 daily viewers or 100,000 daily viewers, then we have to build a Docker image so that the Docker and ECR will come and play in role in AgentCore runtime, and it will be auto scalable. Let's say it's a very small, not that big for a startup. You can zip the code that you are building for with the Strands, and this zip code will go and store in the S3 bucket, and AgentCore will use it from S3 bucket. So there are 2 3 ways. One is ECR, Docker, and other one is S3 bucket. With this, your local code will go to AWS cloud, and AWS cloud will use your code for AgentCore runtime. So this is AgentCore Runtime is basically code execution environment. It's run your code in an isolated secure container. Like that is a main goal of runtime. That's why they call it runtime, right? There is auto scaling. It scales up down based on the traffic. Correct. Whenever traffic grows, it will automatically scroll. All the data, all the code that you have given inside goes inside AgentCore Runtime, and that will auto scale when the user will increase. It will also go down if the user will decrease. There is session management that is given by runtime. So once it starts running, it generates session for every single user that comes into AgentCore Runtime hit, right? And that will is become responsible for building memory, short term, long term, building context, preferences, etc. So this is how AWS is trying to make it enterprise level, infrastructure for AI agents. That is not available. So even if you write it in LangGraph, for example, or LangChain, then you have to have a server where your LangChain will run, correct? And that's where AWS have pitched Bedrock Core Runtime, right? There is a built-in observability, like you can use, let's say, deep eval, new software that will sit inside your Bedrock Core code with strands, and it will try to store all those values that your agent will do. Then what happens is we if we invoke the agent, then this is API gateway will be there, and then it will connect with the Bedrock Core Runtime. And once it's connected, everything will be working together. So what happens when user runs a query? So basically, let's say, what is my policy coverage for food damage? Someone says a message, it goes to the agent core identity, authenticates the user in attached context. So first of all, you have to have authentication of any user coming and asking a single question. Then there is the authentication happen for the first time. It goes to the agent core identity, and we'll build a complete identity. We'll build it for, let's say, manager in the insurance agent. We'll build it for users that they are using for it. Then there is a policy check that happens whenever this request goes, and this is happening in agent core policies, and that evaluates policy for the request and tools that can be used, right? Like prompt policies, tool permission, data access, and guardrails. Then it goes to AgentCore Runtime and Strands agent that creates the and continue session plans, reasons, and decide what to do next, right? That is orchestrates agent, maintain session state, decide tools, KB calls, etc. Then there is knowledge base, agent gateway, and then Lambda, because we have already discussed Lambda will be working as a tool, and all these tools will be connected inside AgentCore gateway. And then there is a return runtime response will be given to the application back. This is a complete cycle of the enterprise AI application. First, you do the development on your local, right? You connect to your AWS cloud. You do the deployment that happens if you are having large scale application, enterprise level, like 1 lakh users a day, right? Then you're going to use Docker. If you have startups, then you're going to use S3 bucket to deploy the code to AgentCore Runtime. That gets registered as tools, and every knowledge base will be connected together, and then it starts the execution. A user comes in, that authentication happens, and reasoning happens, and all these different AWS Bedrock Core tools will be used, like identity, policy, knowledge base, gateway tools, memory, etc. And then the scalability happens when you try to log what is happening behind the server. That's what every enterprise application is doing. Log is really important. If a user is using the application, where the logs are happening. And let's say that you have to build from scratch, not using Strands or AgentCore Gateway, then you have to use a third-party tool, or you have to write your logs by yourself. But that becomes really important here inside observability that is given by Bedrock Core. And scaling and reliability is really important part that is auto managed by AWS Bedrock Core. So auto scaling happens, isolation is there, right? There is high availability because you can orchestrate your agent to multiple availability zones, right? There are multiple sessions it can handle. There is a container lifecycle. So all these makes it enterprise level, enterprise grade application, an AI agent, right? And this is really important part. And if you try to understand what exactly AgentCore manages you, then it will clear your mind that why should I use AgentCore? Why cannot write my own self? So without AgentCore, you have to make your own containers like Docker containers. You have to manage your own auto scale capacity, that how it's going to scale. You have to write your own code to do the session management of all the users coming in the users and the previous users and a long 1 year back user. Every session you have to maintain yourself. Authentication you have to do by yourself, right? Like the permission that you have to give, you have to decide by yourself. There is tool registry that you have to maintain. Let's say tool registry also we can do, but still we have to do by yourself. Observability, memory, prompt management, all these things, all these small tools that can make a large application fail, you have to manage by yourself, and that becomes very critical for enterprise AI applications. Like let's say if you are doing insurance management, insurance chat app for different users and customers, then API security you have to manage. You have to write application firewall. You have to make sure API keys are there. They're rate limited. Streaming you have to also work upon. Versioning is really important. How you gonna manage the versioning of different tools, gateways, runtime. How you gonna roll back if something fails in the production. This is really becomes critical. Each and every component like deployment. How you gonna deploy? Let's say there's one command to deploy every single component inside Agent Core Bedrock, right? But it becomes really difficult. If you look at Agent Core, then agent tools, business logic, everything will be handled by AWS. You just have to, let's say, select a framework, right? You use your framework is Strands, or let's say Langchain or Crew AI, and you write the code, and all those things will be managed by it. Correct? So this is basically what happens when runtime decision engine. So question is there. There is a planner. Can I question answer directly? Use knowledge base to context to answer yes. Then generate an answer. If no, then need customer info. It goes get the customer info. Then need some documentation. Then no, there is a previous conversation available. Then this is how it functions. The complete agent core. There is, if says that no, do I need real time or external system data? Yes, then it has to use gateways, it has to use MCP, it has to call multiple lambdas to get real time information. If it needs documentation, yes, then it goes to have to go to knowledge base and get some data and then give it to runtime, etc. Correct? And this is how all the services are connected together. So now let's dive into the actual development of the complete agent. Let's first build a project, and I'll create a new one. I'll call it insurance agent with Bedrock AgentCore. Okay. So because we are using complete Bedrock core with this strand, and we have to define everything over here inside cursor. So I'm using cursor for the complete development. I'll be using auto mode, no planning directly to agent. So I want to build and insurance agent. Okay, and we can also give the image, like the image that I have. I'll paste it inside the description so that you can take a look. And I think this is the one that we are trying to build. So I'll paste it over here. Right? Please take a look at the complete architecture planning that we have done inside the image, and also please help me build it with Strands Python. Okay, we need to build it step by step. First, set up the framework and then work with one part at a time, right? So for example, if you look at this, so we need agent core identity, policies, runtime, all these things we need. We also need tools, but first set up runtime. First set up runtime with a simple chat agent, right? With agent core, Bedrock, runtime. Okay. So this will set up a very basic chat agent with AWS Bedrock core, and then we keep on building on top of it. So after this, we will test it and then try to deploy it on AWS cloud, and then keep on building. Right. Okay. So this is what I said to it, and let it keep on building. So it has generated the complete code, right? Look at this, what all it has generated. So let's go ahead with project structure. So it has generated two folders. One is agent core and second one is the app, and inside it there is an insurance agent. And it's also generated some MD file, agent.md, readme.md. So first of all, let's go to agent core. Here, the most important part is agent core JSON. Here, everything is decided over here. What exactly we'll have in our AgentCore runtime. Like we're going to have gateways, we're going to have uh, policies, we are going to have knowledge base. All things will be decided over here. So like runtimes, the similar way we can decide memories. So inside memories, we have defined what kind of memories we need, a description, etc. Right? Inside the knowledge base, we'll put the complete structure of the knowledge base, like what kind of knowledge base we are going to have. Similar way, we are going to have credentials and all other things, whichever is needed for AWS Bedrock runtime. So this is kind of, so you can say the core is structure of everything deployed in the Bedrock core. So this is what it is. AWS targets is basically is it's the AWS account is the region where you want to deploy for, right? So there is one video that I have done where you can connect your terminal to the cloud using AWS SSO configure. Please watch it. It's around 5 minutes of video. Then you'll be able to connect your local terminal to the cloud, and then you will be able to easily deploy it. So these two files are for the same. Whenever you do it, you start building the agent core with strands. So this will be installed in your repository, and this allow, let's say like there is a CDK, so this allowed you to give access to all the resources that is available. It helps you deploy those resources, right? So it contains all the definition, right? There is a CLI that contains logs and traces if you do local deployment and run, right? There is LLM context about agent core. It's basically kind of say TypeScript schema for whatever you are building inside agent core or with AWS. So this is all about agent core folder that has been generated in the complete app. And then here is our app that we have built for insurance agent. So there are multiple folder you can see that is generated. So I'll tell you one most important part. So if you go to agent code JSON, here you see entry point. So entry point is main.py. So when you do, let's say, agent code dev, like when I open the terminal and I try to do agent code dev, so this command will first go inside agent code and it will go to agent code JSON and it will see which entry point I'm targeting to. So I'll hit enter, it will run it somewhere. Like the instance will run it somewhere. So let me go to the exact folder and let me run this agent code dev. So it will run this app, so 8081, and this is running on stance, correct? And the entry point is main.py. So if you go to main.py, this is exactly how you pull, like import agents from the stand. And this, so let's say for example here they are defining Bedrock AgentCore runtime, and this is the AgentCore app, and here you are defined agent app, and this is the core Bedrock app, right? And inside this app we'll have multiple agents. So for example here we are defining the system prompt, right? You can see, and this way we are creating multiple functions behind it, and this is the entry point. Whenever it hit from here, this is the method it will be called, invoke. It is really important to know, so that even you are doing with cursor, so you have to understand which files, which methods are belong together to build the complete Bedrock core agents. So this is the way agents are being built. So there is a method, and here we are calling this standard agent, right? If you look at this is the prompt is given that we have defined on the top, correct? Here is some other tools are available that is given to the agent that can use in the future. How organized this becomes when you try to use stands. Hey, and here is a load model functions, and that helps load model from, let's say, this method. Here you define the exact model, what model you're going to use. What happens is, in terms of enterprise level application, you need to do multiple routing of the models, like you use cheaper model and use then higher reasoning models one by one, right, as per the task needed, so that you can reduce the cost if there are thousands of dollars, thousands of requests coming in to you. So here you define the models and here load the models. there's still MCP client is trying to build gateway, because the first focus is to build a very basic one, and then connect with AWS, and then try to run the runtime with simple chat, and then keep on adding other parts like memories, knowledge base, credentials, evaluators, payments, and everything that is available in AgentCore. So now I think you got the very big idea of how these are connected. There is main.py, there is skills, there is model load, there is a MCP client is also available, and there is a pyproject.toml file that has all the dependency of what Python will have in their work, and the different MB files. There is UB also to run inside a virtual environment. Correct. Now here it says that if you want to test, then you have to do AWS configure. To AWS configure, you have to log in from your local to your terminal. Please watch that video, and then we do CD insurance, and then we do this simple call, right? Or you just copy this one, come over here and paste it over here. Correct. So this will now try to connect with your local to the live. Now it says that credential is not available, so we need to make sure that you have to set the credentials. So see, AWS target JSON is not available. Correct. So we have to set this credentials so that it can pull this data. Correct. So to set up this, we need, let's say, name, for example, about the target. Let's say we say Bedrock Core, and you can name anything you like. You can set a description also, and we need account ID and which region you are working with. Type you can set or may not set. This will work, and that's it. This is exactly what we need for to set up our AWS account, right? And then you can also export two properties, like what is a profile name. So you can go over here and you can just try to kind of export the name of the profile that you are working. And to get that, all the setup is done in the video that you can see, and how I connected the complete terminal to the cloud. Once this setup is done, then easily you have to do AgentCore and dev. All right. Once you do AgentCore dev, it will start running the app on our local. Now we can see, and it will run over here. And let's say it will run on a particular port, and here is running on 8081, right? And you also can update the models that you have got access to. So let's say this is the model that I'm using right now, US Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4.6. And this model, if you want to get access, then you go to AWS Bedrock, go to Playground. This is the way I do it. And let's say you go back to let's say Playground again. For example, I want to show you, so start and click on select model, and from here you can select any model that you like. Let's say you want to use Google, Meta, or let's say Anthropic. And Anthropic, let's say you want to use Sable 5, the latest one that they have given, or you want to use Sonnet 4.6. So I'm using Sonnet 4.6, and I'll click on apply. And you can also test if the model is running on your AWS account. If it's running over here, then it will run in your Bedrock API. Otherwise, it won't. Then I'll click on view API request, and here it gives the complete model data, like what is the model name, the ID, etc. And then I'll paste it over here. This can be done using, let's say, environment variable also. So you can set it up. Once that is done, we'll go to the inspector. So this is basically the backend UI, like how is your backend is working properly or not? Is your AWS Lambda Bedrock is runtime is running or not? This is not the UI that we are building. This is in AgentCore inspector that we are seeing. So I'll say hi, and if everything runs well, then it will give me a response. But everything is still on local. So we got the response. It means that it has communicated with Claude Code on AWS Cloud, right? Claude, not Claude Code, basically Claude Sonnet 4.6. And this is the input token to 217, and this is the output token that we got, because the message hi is there. There is a system prompt that is going, because welcome to insurance and support. That is the response that is coming. So you see, this is the basic setup of all these. This system prompt is going with my message hi. This is a user message will be sent to the Claude, and it is responding me back. This is the very basic way how you can locally tested. And then there is a command you can deploy. How you can deploy your this agent runtime to AWS. So thus the next thing we're gonna do to deploy our AgentCore runtime to AWS cloud. So first of all, what we should do? We should try to test if our terminal is connected with AWS or not. So AWS STS get caller identity. So this way we will be able to test that if it's connected with AWS or not. So I'll hit enter, and it will give me all the AWS credentials that I have configured with AWS SSO login, and then I'll try to do AgentCore deploy. And this is a very basic command. This will help us deploy the Lambda to, not Lambda, to the complete AgentCore infrastructure to AWS cloud. So right now we are just having runtime, correct? So it will deploy the complete runtime to AWS cloud. And then we can also connect AWS cloud, that runtime, to our local, and then we'll be able to use it. Correct. You can check the logs also maintained over here. So this is AgentCore. Insurance agent is there. I allow it to bootstrap AWS environment, and then it will also compute difference if it has deployed previously. Then compare the changes and try to publish the asset, deploy to AWS, and everything will be deployed. The next thing what we are going to build is the memory, the AgentCore memory that we have. So if you come to AgentCore Bedrock, and I'm in the US East 1 region, so you see here inside runtime, we will get our runtime coming here. Like currently it says no agents, but here will be our this deployed runtime coming. Okay, so let it completely deploy. Then we'll shift to the memory part. The memory part is this agent memory, and then we have knowledge base. We have to make the knowledge base for it. So knowledge base you can see over here, right? Yep. So runtime, then gateways, memory, policy, identity, payments, knowledge base. All this we'll cover in this video, and one by one, so that you don't lose track. You can do it by yourself after watching this video, and you can do it along with me also as well, right? And this command is just to invoke it. So all these 8 parts we need to do. This we are trying to do. And now after this we have to do the cloud test, how it's running on the cloud properly or not. Okay, yeah. So let it completely deploy itself, and let me plan for the memory. So now what we had in our architecture in the memory, that for memory we need to store conversation history, customer context, preferences, and long-term memory, right? So we're gonna tell it to cursor for AgentCore Bedrock memory. We need the following. We need to store the context of the customer conversation, right? We need to store what do you call short term, right, and long term memory about any conversation happened between, let's say, the insurance agent, that is our agent, and the you customer, within insurance agent and with the customer. So these kind of things we need to build. So right now, and what else we need? So customer consciousness is there, customer context, preferences, also preferences we need. Okay, preferences we need. So please build it step by step and keep on informing, so that we know that how exactly cursor is trying to put this data, because blindly following the vibe coding is not a good idea. So you need to make sure we understand the complete architecture of the app, understand what is going on inside AgentCore, inside our main.py, how it's organizing new folder, making the new folder, right? So it says that it has deployed to AWS. Now let's check this, if runtime is available inside AgentCore or not. So this is the insurance agent has been developed, and you can see here this is the invocation code that is giving. We can use this invocation code to invoke this lambda, invoke this runtime from local, right? So this is says that explain something like, so it gives this session ID we have to pass, so like, right? Now it has successfully deployed. The source type is S3. If we'll do with, let's say, Docker ECR, then it will be changed to ECR or a Docker or image. Okay. So this is the runtime. There is no gateway memory. So next part is memory that we are going to build. So please build it step by step and keep on informing. Yeah. And then, and also try to connect, and let's build a very basic minimal like insurance chatbot where we'll connect all these backend to our front end, right? And let's try to connect a minimal chat agent UI using Next.js and connect with all these APIs that has been deployed to cloud. Okay, so Next.js app will be there, that will be connecting with the with whatever runtime we have deployed on AWS, that will be connected to Next.js. So Next.js app will use. We'll not use the inspector anymore because inspector is just to text how the agent core backend is performing. Correct. So it's basically agent core inspector. So deployed. Now we gonna do it. So this is this now at this moment we'll try to build. We'll try to use memory, try to build memory, try to use memory, and we'll try to deploy memory also. Correct. And after memory, we'll move it to next part. Like we'll try to make gateways or maybe knowledge base so that we can build proper knowledge base for ours. Okay. So it's right now it's checking the add memory, right? This is a very basic command, add memory, etc. And it will give us instructions, correct? So I think it has completed all the to-dos. So first it did is added the memory, like the short-term memory, STM, long-term memory, and the semantic and summarization and user preference. All this come inside the agent core memory. So if you look at, it has created a folder inside this insurance agent. If you check this memory folder, right? This was earlier not available. So now it has created a session, and with this simple code build, it is able to add long-term memory, short-term memory, context, summarization, and user preferences whenever users tries to communicate. Correct. This is it, and it's wire memory into Strands agent. That's what we are seeing. Did not deploy it. We'll deploy it together. The memory to AWS cloud the same way we deployed the runtime, and I did a very basic UI so that we can see how our backend is working. So I did a chat UI, a different folder, and it's a Next.js application, and it has all those details. It had the ARN of the runtime so that it can connect the Bedrock runtime to the app, right? And this is the agent code TS that it has generated, where it's trying to connect with the AWS services that we have already built. Now this has completed it, right? And let's check how the UI looking and is properly connected or not. And this is the different set of short-term memory, long-term memory. The difference between short-term and long-term is like conversation event, 90 days retention. So 90 days will be automatically put inside short-term memory. So data will be saved. You don't have to do anything. It will be saved inside AWS Agent Bedrock Core memory. So this is the like the code that is generated, session.py, right? And inside py, inside main.py, it must be calling that session and trying to use it. So inside this, if you see, I'll copy this, I'll search for session ID. So this is the session ID is trying to use, create agent, session manager is trying to create a session manager, session ID and actor ID, right? Here, correct? Long-term memory across session, it's trying to store. So again, very basic, we have to go inside CD, AgentCore, dev will do, and then it will start working. We'll cancel it out when we'll do it again, right? And this time we'll try to test it with a UI that we have generated. So let's run the UI, and we'll go inside chat UI and we'll do npm undev as npm install has been already done, and it's a Next.js application and it will run, let's say 3000 port. So we'll open the 3000 port, and here it says that it has been run, correct? Now what we have to do is we have to also deploy our uh, memory, right? So we'll simple do agent core deploy, and this will deploy our memory to the cloud, to AWS cloud, correct? Yeah. So now we have two parts done. The runtime is completed, and also the memory that is going to be deployed to the AWS cloud, correct? Let's see if this is working or if there is any problem. So I will say hi, and there is an issue inside this local version, and it says that there is a network issue. And what about the inspector? Let's check the inspector. So inspector is almost running. It says that's connected, and it says that the memory is not deployed. That we are doing like type is semantic, etc. Here are the namespaces that is going to store those different values that user will try to communicate, correct? And it's almost publishing the assets, correct? Yeah. And then once that is done, let me check why this one is not working. If we'll go to the network again, we'll say hi, and it says that the credentials are not connected 500, and this is the payload, and this is the response could not load credential from any provider, means it's not able to connect with the environment values that we give, correct? So this is the ARN that we have given in our front end, correct? Yeah. So we need this ARN is there, and already said if you use the generated files, and then npm dev, okay, let it deploy. So this is straightforward. Every new components you add, and you keep on deploying it, and it will keep on connecting with your agents, correct? So let me see, let me copy this and let me send it to you. Send it to cursor for the new UI. This is what it says, and let's see what problem it says that it's not why it's not connecting. But our inspector is running properly, the deployment is happening properly, right? Correct. It's trying to check the credentials. I think here we need to have this profile set. So let me set the profile. Profile is Abhishek, and let me save inside this one as well, and also let me set other informations, all these ones. Region is just almost set, and session is also I can set, correct? This is testing and trying to add the credentials, and it says the bedrock. Okay, so bedrock core is the profile name, so we'll replace it with bedrock core. That is a profile name that it says connected, and also it's updating the code inside to connect it, like route inside route.js is updating so that it can connect with the profile, right? Yeah, here AWS profile is taking, and or it's hard coding at bedrock core so that it can connect from there, right? And it's trying to test is as well, and trying to connect. So whole point is the front end should also have access to the profile information so it can connect, or we can give access keys and secret key, and for access key secret key we have to configure all the what do you call the credentials and setup, right? And I think it means that the chat UI is properly working because it says that for message hi it's responding back, correct? So if we restart it again and try to go here and try to test it, correct? Let's say hi, and it should respond because the profile was not set inside the environment variable, and that has been set, correct? So this is how it's replying. It's not streaming. We have to make it stream. This the chat UI is not looking good. That we have to make it better, and the memory is getting deployed to agent core. So let's go to agent core and see if memory is there inside agent core. So this is the insurance agent memory, and here it's trying to add. So there are semantic, the built-in, summarization built-in, user preferences built-in. So all these three different strategy has been set, and here the user actor ID is the customer, right? And fact will be stored. Then there is this summaries of what a person or a customer is talking to as a session ID, that will be stored. There will be this user preferences that they are communicating. So all this information will be stored, and the retention expiration is for 90 days, right? And this memory is also done. So two parts we have properly finished. One is the insurance runtime that we have set, correct? And this is the version 2 that we just deployed, 15.6, right? And the memory we have already set up, and the deployment is also complete. Let's go to chat UI, and let's try to communicate the previous question that it was giving. I'll ask this customer, I prefer email update and I drive this text message I'll send. So let's send this message, correct? And this is a chat, and we have to make it streaming, correct? So currently I can say something like this, correct? So currently the chat is not streaming. We have to make it streaming, and please tell me what code you have updated, okay, and which files, so that we know that what changes it's doing, right? And then I'm gonna ask you a question. What did I tell here? Tell the agent that I drive Tesla Model 3. So which car I drive, okay? So it will help us understand that if the short term memory is working or not, if it can tell. Now we'll try to, okay, so it says the Tesla Model 3 you drive. I'll do a new session with the same customer ID. Hi, right? Okay, so this is a new session, not the same session. And again, it's not streaming. That's why it's taking time to respond. We have to make it stream so that it comes again and again. So this has given the response, which car I drive. If for this actor ID, customer 001, this is a differentiation. It has to tell me I drive Tesla, then it means that our memory is properly working and synced, correct? With the cloud. So still I think it's not replying. I don't have any information about the file about you. To look your policy number, still not telling me the details. It means the session and the short-term memory, long-term, short-term memory is working. Long-term memory for a different session, it's not working. So let me take a screenshot of it and let me go to cursor. Okay. Please take a look at this and help me solve this long-term memory issue where agent is not able to reply for the from the context. Okay, this is what it's gonna help me solve, and it's also working to make the complete chat stream, correct? So let this complete itself, and let's this one. So it has completed the whole process. There was a problem about the streaming, and I asked it, and it updated two different files where it allowed the streaming to happen inside the front end that we have built. And also there was issue about short-term memory and long-term memory are not properly working. And I asked cursor and it fixed it. So basically there was problem about this method was not built properly, like the user actors, and the other problem was this setup was not done. So because everything happens inside session.py, that's why it had made changes inside it, And also it had added the user context and memory ID inside the uh, memory session inside the agent, correct? And also updated the front end so that we can check. Now if you go and let's say I'll say hi, my name is Abhishek Gupta and I drive, let's say, Hyundai Creta latest model, and I live in New Delhi, right, India. So I send this information and it should also stream rather than uh, giving me one single reply. So right now it's giving me streaming data. So now I need to create a new session. So I'll click on over here and it's the session has been changed. So do you know my name and where do I live? Correct. So if it has stored information in the long-term memory, then it has to show here in this new session, right? It has to tell my name and it has to tell me the complete story. Hi, Abhishek, it knows I drive Hyundai and current profile. Still, I think it's not telling me. Tell me where do I live. So we have to update the score. Like there is a relevance score of 0.15 use template namespace etc. And these scores, if you try to define more and more and the prompts, then it will work better. Like here I said where do I live, could not answer, but tell me where do I live. Then based on your profile it says New Delhi, India, and here is a quick summary that it has told me. So there is something about schools that we have to work on, that we keep on building on top of it. Now we have already deployed the memory, as we have already seen the memory is here, correct? And our this agent, this chat is directly connected with AWS cloud, correct? The next part that we are going to build, we are going to build knowledge base. So this is an insurance agent. So we have to make it somewhere. There will be admin which will upload policy. So let's say we'll take policies, insurance policy of, let's say, let's go ahead with ICICI, right? And we will have some PDFs, right? And these PDFs will be uploaded to knowledge base, and there will be admin, right? That will upload the PDFs of the policies, and there will be users who have already purchased this policy and they have concerns about the policy, like they want to get the what about responses from them, or get some question answered from them. All these things, like get to fix the claims about the insurance etc, right? So all those things will happen. Now let's try to build a knowledge base. Now let's try to build knowledge base inside AWS Bedrock Core, where the admin will upload the policy, correct, documents, FAQs, etc. And user can also upload what policy document they have got, so that we have documents from both the side. We have document from the policy issuer and also who has taken the policy, like the customer, like us, right? So please update the UI where we can do a simple login for admin as well as different customers. Admin should be able to upload PDFs for their organizations, correct? And customer for theirs, correct? Let's make the UI neat and clean and make everything look like this one. So I like one UI, so I'll give example of root. So there is a root company. I'll try wrote, and this UI I really like. So I'll try to give this kind of UI example to cursor. Okay, please check the UI and text and fonts. Please let's make it something similar to this, right? And also I'll give this one as well. Let it come back. Yeah, something like this, so that it looks interesting. One more response here. Take this one, right? And one more response. More examples to cursor or cloud code, more better output. Now one more he is here, so something like this we need, kind of responses. Okay, so please make the UI looks like this. I have given you from tryrote.com. Okay, this is the website, isn't it? And this startup basically is funded by YC. They help body shop owners. I have done a video on it, like SaaS is not dead, and you can check it out. It's really great video that I have done. And let's see this kind of design that we can do. We'll copy it, we'll paste it, correct? You can check the complete example from the website. The whole point is we should be able to properly communicate with insurer, means the customer, and get the query resolved, and our AgentCore AWS Bedrock will help us achieve it, right? So this all I have told it, and it will create a better UI. It will try to integrate knowledge base. Then we'll try to deploy the knowledge base to AWS cloud. So we'll have three things. Now runtime, we'll have memory, and we have knowledge base. Knowledge base, we'll try to build a knowledge base. We'll try to build embeddings. We'll try to use proper embeddings, so that I'll give you example how the embedding also works inside knowledge base. And then once the embeddings are done, then we'll try to use kind of metadata search. We'll try to use keyword search. We'll try to use embedding search, cosine similarity, so that to make it more and more enterprise ready, because there are 15 to 20 things you can do from your basic agent to make it an enterprise level agent, and we'll try to cover it, right? Let this uh, cursor complete everything what it's doing. Let's try to create a knowledge base and we can give it to it. So we'll be using Bedrock managed KB. This is unstructured vector DB. Let's try to use this one, and I'll name it. This is insurance agent knowledge base. We can call it V1. This will contain this knowledge base will contain information about customer and business in policy documents. Okay, policy documents and FAQs, etc. Right, and it will create a new service role. The data type will be S3. Let's say it's stored inside S3. You can add a tag. Basically, once you do proper tags, then you can manage the payments, etc. So let's say we do a tag of a knowledge base insurance agent, and let's call it staging, correct? And then click on next. Here we'll try to use this one, AWS Bedrock automation as parser, where we are using PDFs, images, and videos, and then we'll try to use chunking. So there are 15 ways of doing chunkings. There is agentic chunking, there is a fixed size chunking, overlap chunking, right? And let's try to use semantic chunking. This will make it more better. but it will cost me more. So you, if you like, you can use semantic chunking. I'll try to use a default chunking that will take around 300 tokens at a time, and try to use it. I'll let's say I have created this bucket, and then I'll use this bucket uh, for, and here everything will be stored, like all the PDF will be coming and that will be stored. We can also add a lambda function, and this lambda function will be kind of being used, to, let's say, transform any data. Like, let's say that you have a PDF or HTML pages, or let's say any doc file, and you want to do some transformation in that file or content, then you can add a lambda there, and whenever data will come, lambda will process data and will again send it to the embeddings. And let's say we'll use Cohere and this embedded English version, or let's say we'll use multilingual version, and we'll apply, correct. It says okay, so this, use this one, it must take it. And vector store, we're gonna store it inside OpenSearch. So whenever anything will any embeddings will be created from these embeddings, and data will be stored whichever path you'll select. So I have selected S3, correct, and then I'll click on next. So it will process from S3 and again go back, save it to S3, and also search it from S3, right? The knowledge base. So it's basically the PDF will be stored in knowledge base. The embeddings that will be connected will be stored inside S3 bucket. When our agent core will come, it will communicate with the knowledge base, and there will be use of AWS Bedrock Core gateway also, so that it will be able to connect with knowledge base properly. So now knowledge base is getting created, and I'll do, I'll take this knowledge base and I'll paste it over here, and I'll tell this is the knowledge base that I have built, correct. And knowledge base is this, okay. So I think knowledge base has been generated properly, and I'll tell this one that please use this knowledge base which is inside US East 1, okay. Now let's start this, so that it will connect. There will be use of gateway. This basically, it will try to create multiple tools, and these gateways, runtimes, memory, and knowledge base will be connected with each other, and then everything will be supporting this insurance agent. And also we have done lots of UI upgrades. So let's see how it come out. Cursor has started working already. Did 4 different to dos. The first one is add KB, the knowledge base that we have given, retrieval tool. So the best part to understand is they are adding the knowledge base inside tools, and that's the reason why they need the gateway, because tools, the Bedrock core has to connect with these tools, and there is a only way to add gateway, so to connect these tools, right. So knowledge base is as a tool that has been added, and I have given the knowledge base and its ID, right, that knowledge base that I have created just now, okay. So, and it's also like added all the code that is necessary. Then I added the basic auth, so that customer can log in, and also the admin can log in, who can upload policy PDF, FAQ, etc. And there is a chat UI that has been generated, and it's also have designed the complete UI for root, as look like root, right, so that we can properly communicate with it. And then updated in env files. So this is all it has done. Now let's try to look at how currently things are looking. So Bedrock knowledge base is wired with the agent, right? And this is the knowledge base that is being using. There is an S3 bucket that we have created. Inside the S3 bucket, whenever we upload the PDF, that will go into the S3 bucket. Whenever the chunking will happen, chunking embedding code will go inside the S3 bucket. And this is the new tool that has been added, a search policy tool. You can see over here. This is @ tool inside Strand. An agent searches knowledge base before answering policy or FAQ question, right? The agent will search first inside the knowledge base, and it will take the query, and this result will be there, and then it will start returning, okay. And then runtime deployed with knowledge base ID in one variable, and rule inspired UI, the login page and the dashboard that we talked about, admin and the customer, demo, you can see there is a login page, email and ID and password it has given, so that we can create an environment where there is a policies uploaded and customer is asking about the policy, and these all files have been created. Now let's try to go and use that. So this is the app, how it looks like now, and I'll go first with the admin and I'll upload it. Okay, and I'll try to download some PDF. Let's say I have this policy wordings, for example, or I'll take, I think I should take ICICI Lombard policy PDF document download, and here I think here I'll get it. I think the same page is taking me in, so I have to take the PDF, correct? And these PDF, you can take any type of PDF about policy, about other FAQs that they have, and you can upload it there. So let me try to take another place, PDF from another place. Let's check this one, comprehensive insurance cover, term and condition, right? So I'll save this one, but at least we should know what kind of PDF this is so that we can ask questions, right? And we need ICICI Lombard PDF. So it's still get, okay, here it is. I think it's e-browser. Let me check. SSA Lombard. I need the complete details of that PDF, right? So motor insurance, health insurance, and then policy wordings, correct? Browser prospect. Okay, I'll need policy wordings, and I'll go and let's say, and there are multiple policies. So this is ICICI Lombard, and this is 65 pages. So I'll save this one, and from the admin. So see, this is the admin, how it looks, and this is organization admin knowledge base, and here I'm uploading policy PDF, and let's see what it says. So let me confirm if this is the same file. Uh, this is wording slot 14. Okay, wording slot 14, and I'll upload the wording slot 14, and it says that uploading and indexing. We should have some kind of progress over here, so I'll take a screenshot, and what it says that upload complete, index started, documents are searchable in 1 to 3 minutes, straightforward. And then from, if I have uploaded it, right, so there has to be a policy given to that customer, correct? So that from that policy he can ask questions. So let's create some question from this policy. I will, let's go to ChatGPT, right, and put it over here. Please generate around 10 questions a customer who has taken the policy and admitted into the hospital, what list of questions he can ask. Okay, so it will generate a list of questions, and the same question I will ask on the customer behalf. So is my current hospitalization covered under my policy, right? So the question is something like this. So once it has been added, then we'll be able to ask it. Now let's try to check the knowledge base, what it says. The knowledge base is here, data source is S3, and this is the sync history is, I think it just did the sync 645, 646, correct? I think it just did the sync, and it has, I think, completed everything. And let's try to ask a question. So I'll go out and I'll try to log in with as a customer, and I'll save this password, and let's ask this first question. I have been admitted to hospital, admitted for appendicitis, and then is this treatment covered under my insurance? So this is the question I'm going to ask. Let's see. Okay. Okay. It has to answer from the knowledge base, otherwise it's not working. And we can also add the citation, and your health is the top. Let me check if it's still replying. So I think, okay, still replying because this is not active. answer cite your knowledge base and personal memory, nothing is sent outside this session. Okay, it's trying to take answers from knowledge base, but there is an error. Must be because there is a delay. So let me check. So gateway is there. This gateway is connected with what do you call uh, runtime so that you can answer. And also, let's first deploy the latest changes. So first, let's validate because knowledge base is a tool, and that tool should connect with gateway because agent how agent core will know that which tools are available, right? So the validation is correct, and then we'll do agent core deploy, correct? And let's do the deploy. And after the deploy, we'll try this again to see if this is working because this is in local and everything is on live. So we need to make sure that this deployment is working so that this can ask questions, right? Yeah, so I did come checked everything, and why the knowledge base was not running is there was one simple issue that the agent core bedrock does not have the role of retrieve. It was only having a role policy to invoke the model LLMs, and it was not able to connect with the memory. It was not able to connect with the knowledge base. So what it the cursor has given, it has created a kind of a role bedrock retriever inside the CDK stack. So once it will deploy, then the bedrock core runtime will have the access to get data from the knowledge base. And this is how the agent core JSON looks right now. There is the runtime that we had, and there are two environment variables that is given to the runtime. That this is the region and this is the knowledge base ID. Knowledge base which one we have created, and these are the different memories that we have already discussed about short-term memory, long-term memory, summarization, and user preferences. And these are the templates that are being used, and this is how that gets stored inside AWS agent core memory. And there is a gateway, and the gateway is the gateway is available so that we can connect knowledge base as a tool, right? So now if you see, now if you go and try to check, so let me refresh the page, and now let me ask a question that ChatGPT has given. So is the hospital part of your network, and can I get a cashless claim, for example? Or let's say that my estimate bill is now how much will be covered and how much do I have to pay? Let me ask this question to the agent, and now it will try to also create the citation from which PDF page is trying to take. That we can improve by making better embeddings, storing the metadata, right? So the best part is knows my name, and it says that treatment going well. This is all happening from the prompts. So the source says is ICICI Lombard, and all these values. Let me check. The source is that ICICI Lombard, this policy is there, and your policy will be calculated with this. And this is a defined benefit plan, which means the payout is not based on an actual hospital bill of Rodic license. It's predetermined lump sum, try to type of surgery and sum insured. So what it means practically, so it's actually connecting with the uh, kind of a tool with the knowledge base. Let's try to log in again with organization and try to give another policy. Let's say Bajaj policy PDF. Let's say we'll take one example of policy. Let's say Goal Suraksha, right? And this is kind of an investment plan. So we'll take this 10 pages of investment plan, and we'll take this one, and we'll try to save it, and we'll upload it as an admin. Then there is IPPB Goal Suraksha, and this is another 4-page document. It's we'll try to save this one as well. And this is Allianz life insurance. This I think is form, right? And also details about how things you can store. So I'll go inside this, and I'll try to upload another set of PDF. I think I can select only one PDF at a time. So it says that uploading and indexing. Again, it will go upload into S3 bucket. S3 bucket, there will be chunking and embedding will happen. That every data will go inside the uh, knowledge base, right? Then what next remaining is, let's try to create a identity try to create policy. Let's try to add more tools in it, right? So let's say we'll create multiple lambdas, and those lambdas will be connected. So if we refer to the images that we had initially, like the diagram that we have created to cursor, so it was agent core identity is still missing, policy is missing, memory is there, knowledge base is there, gateway is there, but there is only single tool, that is a knowledge base. Now we need all these tools: policy tool, get policy, claim tool, billing tool, coverage tool, and document tool. All these tools that we need to generate. So let me copy this, yeah, and let's focus on. So let's focus on building all these tools that we promised, right, initially. Correct. That's the first part. For example, there is a policy tool, right? There is a claim tool, right? The second part that we should ask it to do is talk about identity, right? So let's make it properly proper with Bedrock core identities, so that only authorized person should be able to access data, right? This will see and try to update agent code JSON. That is where everything sits, correct? So let's say we'll try to make an admin, and then there is a viewer inside the insurer, right? And there is a customer. So customer has to have all the information that, but it cannot upload a document, or it cannot take the basic details. So we should try to make it for customers, customers and different admin members, correct? So that it works properly in bigger organization. That is for identities that we gonna give. Now once identity is done, policies also we should make policies also we should make, correct? If we check, there is a policy one here as a prompt policies, there is a tool permission policy, there is a PIA protection policy, there is this action restriction policy. That all these things cannot be taken by everyone, like not by the customer, or say not by a person that is in insurance department. So let me add that here, and say in the added in the screenshot. Please check. Okay, so these are the three different things that we need. Other than this, S3 is there, observability we need, right? So and let's try to use this one. This is deep eval, and we'll try to use this one, get started, and I think it will be installed inside using PIP, correct? So design philosophy is there because it has been used by many bigger organizations. And number 4, let's try to use deep eval inside the system, or basically AI agent Bedrock core logs and maintenance, for example, this one. Okay, and please make sure to do one by one all of them and try to explain me every detail, so that I can tell you if it has done something wrong or something right, correct? So let it run and let's see how better it comes out, because this would be right now connecting everything, like policy engine, and identities, etc. Okay. So these are all the things that we asked for, about even use deep eval to do the tracing of how agents are working, all the policies that needed, the identity is needed, right? And also we did some UI upgrades. So I'll brief you what exactly we have done till now. So you can see this is how the current version of a support agent looks like, the insurance support agent. You can come and ask questions like, let's say, what does my policy cover for water damage? Or let's say the question that we have generated for the insurance, let's say what documents are required for claim approval, and this all will be answered using the data that has been uploaded from the admin side. Correct. And this is the dashboard that is given to the customer. So here what you are seeing is the policy is given, right? Product is also given, like comprehensive auto coverage, because I have told it that my car is Hyundai. So it's according to Hyundai Creta, it's giving me that there are 12 lakhs sum has been assured, because it's trying to communicate with the tools that we have given it, like it's trying to communicate with the policy tool, right? And is trying to communicate with the claims tool, billing tool, coverage tool, document tool, all the tools that we have given to it, it's trying to communicate with it. And also it's giving me deductible. And the most important part is the memory, the context memory, the long-term, short-term memory that it's storing by itself. Like we don't have to do anything, just we have to do some setup once, and all those things will be taken care of by Bedrock Core. See, all these data is coming from the knowledge base that we uploaded. So what we did, we created two parts. We did this is a customer portal and there is an admin portal. From admin portal, we uploaded all the FAQs and the policy documents, and then all those data went into S3 bucket. So if you look at this, so what we did, we created runtime, right? You can see over here, the runtime is there, right? And these are the different versions that we deployed, like around 13 versions we deployed, and this helps you, roll back to the previous working version. Like you can delete it, you can roll it back. There are gateways that we have decided, and in each gateway we have added different tools. Like let's say this one tool that we added, insurance tools, and here it has, let's say, get policy lambda. So this is lambda, right? Because once you have the gateway, you need tools. Tools could be lambdas, different APIs, API gateway. There is a check claim lambda that is there. There is a calculate premium lambda is there, and these lambda is returning back these information to this insurer over here, like what they need in terms of policy or claims, etc. Correct. Then there is a memory, that this is the short-term, long-term memory that we are trying to communicate. Agents are storing like semantic data, it's summarization, it's storing, it's using user preferences, and all these data is getting stored for every single users, and they are calling it actor. And also the admin data that is getting stored. Similarly, we have created policies like insurance policies that it's gonna have like allow insurance tools and forbid customer cross access. This makes sure that customer cannot let's say upload a document, or customer cannot get data for other customer, right? So there are, let's say I have added 2 customers in here, there could be 10,000 customers, because the things will be handled by Bedrock Core. I don't have to do anything inside the servers and all. And also we created knowledge base. A knowledge base is here, and this knowledge base is connected with the gateway to the AgentCore runtime, and this knowledge base contains the policy documents, FAQs. Let's say a customer has its own policy document that they can upload from the customer portal. And similar way, there will be admin portals, that from the admin portal admins can upload their data, right? And then it combines together everything, like we are using a Strands Framework over here, like, and all the Strands Framework data, framework code, and the complete AWS Bedrock Core, all the services connected together properly, right? And we have achieved this whole thing that we discussed in the starting of the video, right? Correct. So hope you like this video, and make sure like and subscribe, because once you watch this complete Bedrock Core video, right, you'll have every understanding. For example, we even talked about, let's say, that why we have this AgentCore JSON. For example, I'll show you. Here, look at this. This is the runtime. This is the runtime that we decide how the build will happen. It will happen with code zip, or it will happen with Docker or ECR. What would be the entry point we have discussed, right? Where would the code location will sit our agents. So this will complete the runtime. Also, where you define the environment variables, all things we discuss in this video. Also about the memories, how these memories gonna store, what are the namespaces that gonna be used, what are these are the different other environment variables. And agent core gateways, look agent core gateways, all the tools are defined inside agent core gateway that is being used in the complete agent core runtime infrastructure. There is a policy agent that engine that we have decided in this runtime. So this way you will be able to do it from zero to everything in agent core bedrock, right? Thank you.